All right, everyone. Welcome back to the show of your life. The greatest show of your life. That's what I meant to say. Anyway, how's everybody's feeling today? What a crazy price action, huh? Are we still alive? Are we still alive? Goodness. All right. Hi, Sharon. Okay, so what's going on? It seems like I fell asleep and then share price went down like crazy. What's happening? All right, never a dull day in investing in this company. There's always something to talk about, right? Very interesting, obviously. So, as we know, there's a convertible note being repricing, and I'm sure this is all it is. Obviously, they have to attack us at every point in time. Obviously, I don't think retail just sell like that. But hey, there could be a very disgruntled retail investor out there who maybe mistakenly thinking that this is a delusional, event. I'm not saying that it's not a delusional event. I'm saying that it's not for now, right? So it seems very suspicious that it just, comes down 25% in a day. And it's very, bloody at the moment. So what did I say? Buy when there's blood in the street, right? So this is the opportunity to buy. Oh my goodness, obviously. Pretty painful to see today, but I understand the game that is being played. It's I guess after the announcement on the convertible note, today they were repricing it, so apparently that's what the whole schmeal is all about. All right, hey Manuel, what's up, Ricky? All right. Patience psych. Okay, all right. hope I said your name right. Okay, so Ken Griffin hit the. Okay, all right. That's actually crazy, 25% and no halts, right? There you go. Every time it comes down, it has no halt, right? It's crazy. Of course, this is predatory for sure. I mean, come on. I mean, if you look at the volume, right, there was like 90 million shares being traded back and forth today. Most volume ever that I've seen. Wait, did I say 90 million? Am I crazy or hold on? Let me look at the volume real quick. Hold on. Let me go to one day. Today volume, 96 million shares being traded, and most of them are shorted shares. Okay, and you could see it over here, 31 million shares being shorted, and the day before that, it was a lot more. Of course, previously before all the announcements on Bitcoin investment and all that stuff, there's hardly any shorted shares, but it was, noticeably today and yesterday was a lot more. So again, they that's all they could do. What can they do? Dumb stormtrooper effect or something, right? So, I mean, we've seen this game played so many times. Now, the reason why I'm so bullish still, obviously, I'm still bullish on this company because, again, this is the type of things that happen, right? 29 million shares is off exchange. So nothing that was seen on the price drop was actual selling from retail, right? It's all dark pool. Sorry, it's all shorted shares. So that's why you don't see any buys, orders. But if you look at the breakdowns over here, you could see they short in the lit market, but then they buy it back in the dark pool. So again, like it's just the same trick, right? Accumulation for sure. I got the note offering virtually capped. Wait, I get that the note offerings virtually capped the price of GME around 30. Until complete, but today it seems too much. Yeah, I mean, they're scared, it seems, right? I don't know. Again, I'm just speculating. Perhaps, again, like I'm saying, perhaps there's a lot of retail investor out there who just fed up. Like they think that this is delusional event and they just don't want to hold the share anymore. So I'm willing to say that some of them are like that. I'm sure there's a lot of additional shorts, hedge funds out there that are taking advantage of this and dump their shares all at once, only to buy it back at a lower price, right? Again, in the dark pool, because they know that it's not going to affect the price. And the other speculation is perhaps, again, they are taking advantage of the VWAP, try to drop the price down as much as they can so that the bond repricing will be lower than, expected. So, yeah, I mean, again, that's the game that is being played. But for sure, this shouldn't be allowed at all, right? Because there should be like the uptick rule, right? Like you can't short a certain amount of shares at a certain time period, but there's no halting, there's nothing of that sort. So seemingly it's just skewed. But then, you've seen a lot of tweets out there that are, causing the demise as well, again, feeding on the negativity of the whole situation here. But again, for me, I'm very bullish. Just in case you're not noticing, I'm into Bitcoin, obviously. So, raising money, 0 interest rate to buy into Bitcoin is always a win-win for me. Yes, temporarily short-term price pullback, whatever. It's I guess a painful event for a little hard, for a later on, price appreciation and appreciation in the maximum amount, of rewards later on. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be so sweet, you guys. I'm telling you. Yeah. This is nothing. 20% down? But you could see a lot that after hours, it went up a little bit too. So I add some more call. I sold calls yesterday as it casting down because I know that they're going to do some shenanigans, right? So I was able to capture some profit up here. So in the morning, I kind of knew, okay, better take some profit, and I sold most of my calls here. I had one still left in April, and then I add today. Thank goodness I was like, let me just wait to see the whole conversion thing. So, not to say that the price won't come down again. They could still do their shorting for tomorrow, just to scare most people out. But what I've noticed too is that there are gaps over here that it's already been filled. There's small gaps down here. There might be, hold on, let me see if there's one on, I wonder if I could see it down here, right there. So there might be little tiny more gaps over here. So yeah, $20 perhaps tomorrow, just again to scare more people out, but that's probably about it. But yeah, these gaps was filled. This gap is still up there. So again, gaps typically fill most of the time. So just be in a lookout for that. Okay. Now, as soon as they announce that they bought some Bitcoin, the stock will go up again. Okay, just be prepared for that. Understand the game that is being played right now. Okay. You know, a lot of time when institutions change their minds, right? They typically bring the price down in order to get into the share as much as they can. So within the next 3 to 6 months, I feel like the institutional level of ownership is going to increase. Remember when I told you about the 38 percentage institutional ownership right at this moment? It's going to increase to 40, and then 45, and then 50, and then 55, and then 60 in the next coming months. Okay, and so be on the lookout for that. I know for a fact it's going to increase. Because right now you have the bond traders out there. That Ryan just introduced a new type of traders now. Okay, so of course there's gonna be, taking advantage of both sides. What sucks is that retail cannot take advantage of the bond themselves. So essentially that's a call option, right, for institution out there with a protection. Because technically they could get their money back without any loss. I mean, the only loss is the fact that it's only 0 interest rate, right? They won't get any rates back because, again, it's 0 interest. But typically the bondholders would only buy it because they want to convert the shares, right? Because they, expect that GME is going to be higher than $30 a share. So again, it's still bullish. I mean, at this price point, right? If you think about the current price point versus the bond itself, convertible bonds and all that. So I try to learn as much as I can about this one. I'm still kind of like a little bit confused on the time frame and all that stuff. So I need to learn about the verbiage and stuff before I kind of explain it. But essentially, they could convert the bond at a certain price, at a certain date, and GME has the ability to either just give them cash or shares or both in a mixture of things during a certain time period. So again, to me, if they use that to buy into Bitcoin, right? I mean, based on the stock to flow model, hold on, let me come back here real quick because, again, Bitcoin is a prestige asset. Yes, it is a very, very controversial asset class for sure. And so the volatility is here for you guys. I'm telling you, when you're asking for volatility, this is how it should be done. Okay. And every type of traders out there is going to flock into this stock again. Volume's gonna come. Yes, volume's also going to fluctuate down as well. So the swing down is going to happen. The swing up is going to happen. Just be aware of that. Okay. And the nature of this type of stock, when you get into GameStop, this is always the play, is that, the swing up and down comes from the emotional nature of people trading the stock. So now when you are adding the bond traders out there, they could really play on your emotion even more. So again, that's why, understand the game that is being played. Okay. So when things are coming down, if you understand the value of what you hold, you're less likely to be like, okay, I'm done with this, right? Because I know that the stock in and of itself, the equity that is GameStop, the share price itself is a lot higher than you are seeing right now because of the manipulation aspect of it, right? We don't know how many shares being shorted just today alone at all. Just again, naked short, right? Again, I'm just speculating. I have no data backing up whether it's naked short or not, or just borrowed share from some institution. Okay, I didn't sell, so where is the share coming from? Of course, I'm speculating that retail are holding strong. They're not selling, so it's relying on that fact alone. So, but again, retail could also be very emotional at what they're seeing. Perhaps they're not used to this type of fluctuation. They're gonna sell out, right? So I'm willing to think that. But again, that besides the point, though. Okay, so this is the stock to flow for Bitcoin. If Ryan Cohen were to use all six, okay, hold on one second, let me come back. All $6 billion to buy Bitcoin, okay, what do you think is gonna happen? The current price right now is around, okay, let me look it up on my other one too. Because, sorry you guys, I'm kind of all over the place here. I mean, when you have free money to invest, that's actually a good thing. I don't understand why people are so emotional about this. Or they're just trying to manufacturing emotional cry on how this is a toxic convertible note. It's not toxic, you guys. What is this? Crazy. Okay, so Bitcoins right now is at so let's assume that Ryan's gonna use all $6 billion, okay, to buy into Bitcoin at this price right now. Current price, okay, they would have this much of Bitcoin right now. So that amount of Bitcoin is going to give them the status of the second most held Bitcoin in corporate setting, okay? Second to MicroStrategy. That status is not to be taken lightly, okay? Because again, Ryan Cohen is not going to buy and hold, okay, but he's going to time it just right. And it seems like this is the perfect time to buy based on this model anyway, okay? What are you seeing right now? Every single cycle, it goes up in price, right? Why? Well, again, function of inflation. Well, governments is not going to stop what they're doing. They're just going to continue kicking can down the roads, okay? Inflation has to be, high, whether 3%, whether 2%, or whatever they're planning, is that that's all they know how to do, like a one-trick pony type thing, okay? Because the way that the structure of our financial system is that if you were to not pay the debt or whatever, somebody's debt is somebody's income, somebody's asset or whatever. Okay, because we live in a debt-based system, your fiat currency is going to devalue. Okay. And so with Bitcoin though, it's fixed supply. That's the narrative, store of value over time. Again, over time, yes. Short term, it's going to fluctuate like crazy. But if you hold it for more than 4 years, you are up. Okay, even if you're buying at the high over here, I'm telling you. I mean, think about this. If you buy it over here at the peak, like if you're the unluckiest person in the whole wide world, every time the cycle hits, you buy at the peak at every cycle, right? And over time, you still come ahead. I'm telling you. Your average, it should be over here if you start over here. I'm telling you, right? But again, you have to be patient enough to hold it for more than 4 years, okay? But anyway, the whole idea is that right now it's the perfect time because, again, we're right here. We're somewhere over here. Stock to flow just accounts for how many Bitcoins are out there, you know, in minings, in circulations, and how many Bitcoin is going to be mined every year after this, right? And the flow is the flow of money, okay? Volume weighted or whatever, accounted for. And so over time, by the end of this year, the expected, you know, price based on this model is around, hold on, it says right there, $370,000 per coin. Okay, so that's the base price. Obviously, it could undershoot this time, just maybe because people are, you know, just not enthused about Bitcoin for whatever reason, because they're tired of hearing about it or whatever. But the conventional wisdom is that the price is going to go up from here. Okay, even just double. GME would be able to double their you know, holdings in price, obviously. Okay, so let's see. Now let me go back to, oh, why did I lose it? How crazy. Okay, sorry. So let's say that they have this much right now, okay, at this price. And it goes up to whatever this model is saying. Right there. So now they have $25 billion. I mean, 25 billion, and he sold at that price. Because again, the verbiage in there, he's not gonna hold GME for a long time. I mean, GME, sorry. Hold Bitcoin for a long time, or just sell half. Sell half, pay back the senior notes right away. You don't have to pay it back, but you know, you have 5 years to do it even. So, but the point is that, like, technically GME could hold a certain amount of Bitcoin and would still come ahead with this type of you know, aggressive acquiring of Bitcoin, right? Why Bitcoin? Well, the reason being is that there's no other asset class out there, including companies right now, that will give you a return of 60% a year. You can't, you know, accounted for, you know, inflation too. So the growth is here, and of course, there's a lot of good news that comes surrounding the Bitcoin, the crypto space. Okay, new regulators, you know, opening up deregulation on that space is going to, you know, give GME the opportunity to take massive amount of profit from that, at least the time frame anyway. But yeah, so that's why I'm so bullish on the share price. Obviously, every single pennies that GME buy, used to buy any type of asset is going to increase shareholder equity for sure, right? And so with that, you know, price per book is going to increase as well. Price per book. Yeah, book value of the company is going to increase as well based on the share price, right? So currently you're going to have some debt, but the debt is going to be occurred at just 0%. So there's nothing much there, okay? So the future is still bright, I'm telling you. And the fact that the price coming down today makes no freaking sense at all. So again, that's why I bought some calls. Now, tomorrow, of course, I have some small funds still to buy more calls over here, down here. if it drops back down, because I don't imagine it's gonna go. It's gonna stay low for long. What I'm hoping that Ryan's gonna do is to buy Bitcoin as soon as possible and announce it as soon as possible too. So in that case, it's gonna kind of help shareholder a little bit here to stay a little bit optimistic, a little bit more, right? And these people are gonna come back, you guys. Like they're sell in and out, just like a drunken monkey over here. So understand that. So yeah, I wouldn't feel any slight fear at all. All right, everybody's saying hi. Okay. That's awesome. All right. Seemingly like people are not paying attention to what I'm saying. What's happening, class? You're not paying attention. Should I just close this class right now? People are talking to each other. What's happening? Is Bitcoin necessary if XRP exists as hey, I think Bitcoin is the grand, poobah of crypto. Obviously it's gonna be necessary. Seems like Bitcoin would be gold and XRP will be cash. Of course, yes. I think again, store of value will be, I think Bitcoin's gonna take the reign of store of value for sure, because that's the narrative already. And it's been, like I guess like there was a term that these people was using. It hits the escape velocity, when it reached $1 trillion of market cap. So when you see an asset class that reach $1 trillion market cap, it's going to go to 10, it's going to go to 20, right? So it's very easy to grasp the concept that it's going to go to that, the 10x level of accounting. So with XRP though, because of its use cases, utility, and all that stuff, it's gonna come as, yes, sure, cash. But XRP, could be I guess I would equate it to oil, because of the liquidity, the way that it could be used in that sense. So yeah, oil would be a lot more accurate. Cash could be issued on XRP ledger, yes. And I think more and more now. I just heard the news about how they are now allowed to sell to institution XRP. So as Ripple, they could sell XRP to institution to use it as they wish. So all right. A, regulatory uncertainty. B, security risk, both physical and cyber security. All right. Market volatility, Ryan Cohen, and therefore GameStop's success will be depends on their on how they navigate these challenges. Sure, yes, that's true. As far as the regulatory uncertainty, it's coming. The SEC chairman just did the confirmation hearing today. So hopefully he's going to get confirmed soon. As far as the security risk, there is an institutional grade solution that they could use. I'm sure, MicroStrategy probably tell Ryan Cohen what to do on that, arena. There's a self-custody type of, investor. And then there's also, there has to be some way for institution to acquire Bitcoin. Come on. So I don't worry about that too much because I can with the cyber security. Market volatility. Of course, yes, that's also another challenge. But again, volatility begets price discovery begets more traders, institutional, and the like coming into these markets now. More interesting, volume coming in. Typically, when volume comes in to the stock, what do you think is going to happen to the stock price? It's bound to go up. Yes, down as well, but I think, price discovery is going to go the other way soon. Okay. Oil interesting. Yes, I think oil. I think oil is a lot better. Of course, you could make any analogy you want, like, physical liquid silver. How about that? Nah. Just my speculation here. Okay, what else do I want to talk about? I feel like I've hit every single point here. But again, don't be crying. Look at this amazing emoji. But you see evidence of like lots of buys candles over here that doesn't move the freaking price at all, right? So stuff like that happens, right? So you could imagine there's a lot of dark pool activity there. But yeah, people are secured at this price right now. And I'm thinking like the floor is gonna keep going higher and higher. Only up from here. I feel yes, the volatility is gonna be here, but over time, I'm telling you, with MicroStrategy, right? They were starting to buy Bitcoin over here, 2020. Okay, August of 2020, sometimes around here. And look at the price. Back then, it was like what, $12 there, and then it went up to freaking $500 a share right there. So from the time they start to buy Bitcoin and held, obviously, and of course they issue more shares to buy more Bitcoin and all that stuff. You know the story. How many? That's dates. Let's see. Let's go to the monthly candle here. Only 2 cycle. Okay. Only 2 cycle. How many months? That's 50 months later. Okay, 50 months later. You see, crazy return. So that's 5 years. Okay, 5 years. So that's the amount of years of this convertible notes to be expired. What do you think is gonna happen? Okay, what do you think is gonna happen, you guys? So that's the 4 years, 1 point whatever billion dollars. Is he gonna continue to do this? I don't know. Depends, right, on the price of the stock, perhaps. Hey, this is the infinite money glitch type thing that is ensuing. Maybe we're gonna be the number 1 company that own Bitcoins. I mean, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? What I would have loved Ryan Cohen to do is not to issue debt at all and just use it. But he did use that number, huh? I feel like he watched the show because I did tell him to do 1 billion, 1.5 billion at the time. So yeah, I mean, originally I thought, okay, let's just use the cash that we have without debt. But perhaps this is what he's going to do. Maybe he's going to do this 3 times. $1 billion each and do it 3 times, just like I suggest him to do. All right, that works. Sorry, you guys. I think the price is because of me. I think Ryan Cohen just took my playbook, what I told him to do. So, okay, instead of using the cash on hand, he's going to do convertible note for 3 times. It works too. So all of these free money is going to go buy Bitcoin. and then the rest perhaps is just going to be sitting there accruing interest again. I think that works too, so that if anything happens, if Bitcoin doesn't work out, you get the ability to at least generate some interest income still at the rate of 4%. Just in case, we so that we don't have to liquidate our Bitcoin to try to, pay off the debt. If it's issued that way. Now maybe later on he's gonna issue more at a higher price too, right? Convertible note as time goes on. I sense there are going to be more convertible notes. Coming. So just be prepared for that. Price action and all that stuff. But again, it's good for equity holder at the moment in time. While the convertible note is not expiring. We believe you. I told. Okay, yesterday. Cool. I did like the shorting. Yeah, of course. I mean, of course, like any time the price coming down, right? And seemingly, you guys, this is the point where Roy and Kitty bought at, right? The lower than his cost average at the moment. His cost average is around here somewhere, like 23. Well, assuming that he still have the shares right now, 9 million shares, right? So, is he gonna try to accumulate more calls again? I mean, it's hard to believe that he's just gonna leave this on the table, you guys. Huh? I feel like he's lurking. He has to. Apparently, hold on, let me see. There was a thumping thing again happened today, right? Somebody saw it. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at this crazy amount of shares being shorted. 9 million shares. 8 hours ago. Oh, here we go. So it's another thumping situation again, 96 instead of 69. So a reversal coming. I mean, you have to decode this stuff, right? But yeah, Bryce, look at this. Like, the volume, crazy. Okay, so this is when MSTR issue their notes to buy for Bitcoin, and then you see the price drop there too, dip and then rip afterwards, pretty immediately. But don't take my words for it. Just observe. If you're getting cold feet, observe. Just be careful. I know, like I'm doing calls and all that stuff. I understand the risk too. That's why I'm only doing small amount, you guys. I'm not going all in, and I only do on the amount in which I could afford to lose. And if I lose everything on my calls, I'm okay. I'm not crippled or anything like that. So, and then I have my regular buying orders that happens on my Roth. So just be aware of that. Like I said, anything under 50, fair game to me at the moment. So nothing changed yet. Now, if they're buying Bitcoin, right, and sell at the right time, and get that $25 billion onto the balance sheet, oh, goodness, that would be awesome. But I think knowing Ryan Cohen as a conservative type, right? I feel like he's going to still have the marketable security on that $4 billion that we have. And then whatever amount of convertible notes he's able to, convert or raise the money to buy Bitcoin with it, he's just going to risk that amount, onto Bitcoin. So, I mean, $1.5 billion is enough to buy Bitcoin. But even if he used a little bit of the balance sheets to the tune of an additional, 1.5 billion. So instead of going 6, you could just go half, $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. That's also works too. So yeah, 6 billion, 6.1 billion to be exact. And again, like, we don't need that much to run the company anyway. Okay, so because we've been kind of decreasing the footprint, kind of operating based on, the stores that we've gotten and the amount of customer that we're able to serve, over the year. I don't think he's going to expand quite yet because that's not the time to. There's no reason to. All right. So it seems like they're buying back. Oh, they borrow rates. Okay. There was a post that I saw that they were doing the buybacks immediately. Like, it seems like they were selling call short today. Like, they're abusing every single aspect of things, the shares, the calls chain, right? Everywhere, it seems. But every call was bought back at $50 a share or something like that for January of 26. Yeah. But again, oh my God, the price is so low at the moment. And if they're able to cast it down even to the price right here where Rowan Kitty come back the second time, how dumb would that be? Rinse and repeat, right? But yeah, I mean, they did it here, of course. Why not? What is a couple of billions of dollars short? We're already trillions of dollars leverage over leverage already. Why not? The only way is up from here to the right. Of course. But it might bow a little bit before it skyrocket again. I'm thinking they're gonna taper off, a little bit, maybe. Just to drawn out, and then boom. Rowan Kitty's gonna come back right here. April 20th, remember? YOLO update. I called it. Difference is extreme dilution. What do you mean? Extreme dilution. Not immediately. Yeah, in 5 years. In 5 years. But again, if there is a narrative out there that there's a lot of shares being shorted, naked, those dilution really doesn't matter, right? Because in my opinion, the float might be sold so many times that even this amount extreme dilution look at the share price. It's still at $22 a share. I mean, the demand must be double extreme, right? Because if that's the case, you would have seen $10 a share today, right? Again, just my logic. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, with this amount of shares being shorted, come on, right? So that means 60 million shares of it is bought. It's being bought back, right? Am I doing the math right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Think why would you give Jimmy up to $1.2 billion with no interest? Because they need to buy in. The institutional investor get access to buy in. Institutional investor get access to buy Bitcoin. Access to Bitcoin, switch long to unwind the short. Yes, yeah, some of them will be shorters, for sure. But again, like if to me, if the float is being sold so many times over, 5 times over, 6 times over, right? Any amount of institutional, they would have to, acquire so many shares. And on top of that, that is going to translate in a long-term shareholders. Buckets, right? That's what begets another institution to pile in as well. So enticing, right? Enticing more institutional ownership to trust that, okay, institutions are in. Therefore, long-term shareholders going to come in at a massive amount of cash being bought. And so that's why I was kind of talking about if the institutional shareholders increase to 60% of the company, you're going to see, wild swing after that, right? Because now, I guess because like hedge fund, or pension fund or whatever, they're enticed to buy more because, for whatever reason. A cult. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind being a cult salt. Like, what's wrong with that? Crazy. JJ. Oh, I thought you are the same person. Sorry about that. Jay, I haven't seen you in a while. Anyway, so yeah. I mean, again, you guys, it's still a very bullish, prospect. I trust Ryan Cohen. I know he knows what he's doing. I understand that there is something being played here. And, I don't think he's just going to, do away with what he's promised to do, which is to make Gamestop the number one destination for gamers out there. That letter is still playing out, you guys. The letter that he wrote 4 years ago to the board of director, he is still going to make that happen for gamers out there. Now, as far as the Bitcoin play, again, it is to perhaps shake out a lot of shorters out there, so that he could, make the company the way that he wanted to run it. And yes, I mean, for sure, buying Bitcoin is to raise as much money as possible, to make that happen for shareholder as well. Because again, at the end of the day, this is for shareholder, for sure. Okay, whether Class A common stock or the bondholders out there too. Both of them gonna to get benefit. The only, sucky part of this whole thing is the fact that retail cannot buy into those senior notes. it would have it would have been great to have retail buy into the senior notes as well to participate in that. You know, unfortunately, only institution could buy into it. So, but again, you know, nothing changed in my opinion. It's the share's gonna go up. I don't know how high. Yeah, you know, not much. Da, 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 da. The first hedge fund. Okay, the first hedge fund that buys the note will survive against the other. Of course, yes. They're gonna, you know, grab it as much as they can, for sure. Yeah. And how many shares would that be if it was fully diluted? Let me try to do. Right, $1 billion divided by. How do I do that? Say $30, right? Is that 50 million shares? 50 million shares. Yeah, that's gonna be what, 500 million shares? Ah, that's nothing, you guys, like peanuts. We still have like 500 million shares to be shilled out too. Remember, we could dilute up to 1 billion shares. It's unstoppable, you guys. It's unstoppable. I mean, just today alone, look at this. Look at this, okay? 31 million shares being sold short, okay? So half of those shares is short already. And where did they get that money from, right? And I'm sure people who've been buying this company up just keep buying, right? Like I said, that's why, again, the extreme dilution, right? That's the narrative. But it's on a bullish news. On a bullish news. Why is bullish? Because the company is doing well. They're not burning cash. And now issuing debt at a low, like zero. Like, this is the pinnacle, okay? The pinnacle of success right now. To be able to raise $1 billion, $1.5 billion on a zero interest, that's huge, you guys. It's a testimony to either the company's doing well or the leadership. Remember, it's easier to raise money than to make money. Think about that. Who said that? It was Elon Musk, right? And so if you're able to raise money, you're going to make it in life, okay? So you have the leadership to do that. Or that is able to raise money based on the reputation, based on the deliverance, okay? You could say that people are stupid buying into this stock because they believe in a cult or whatever. That, I mean, to build a cult, you need some talent, right? So at least give the, you know, leadership some slack here, okay? So I'm telling you, it takes work, okay, to build a cult. I'm telling you. Yeah, I've been here for how long? I only have like 200 subscribers. I mean, it worked, you know? This is real hard work over here, okay? So imagine Ryan Cohen, how many hundreds of thousand followers. That takes work, okay? So at least give him some slack there. Okay, essentially a core gaming business is worthless. That's not true. And the only way GameStop can stay alive is Cohen diluting retail. Okay, all right. It's a little bit better than that. Come on, you know. Respect that opinion, but I think you're wrong. But it's okay. You see what it means. Jay, I could tell. I think I did not read the 10K report. It's okay, you know. We encourage disagreement around here. It's okay. It just gives people a different perspective here, you know. It's all right. You know, people gonna learn. People gonna learn sooner or later. When GME traded at $100, they're gonna learn. I'm sure. And then 5 years from now, it's gonna be like $1,000 a share. They're gonna learn. uh, all right, buckle up. All right, you guys. I need to eat. I have not eat yet. Been learning about convertible notes and all that stuff. So I think I'm pooped out at the moment. But yeah, think about this, and I will come back to try to at least learn a little bit more about convertible notes and what this is dilution event and all that stuff that people are thinking about. It's going to affect the equity holders, which is us. How much effect it's going to have on the share price and all that stuff, we'll see. Volume and all that stuff is going to bring in more, you know, volatility. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do some homework there. All right. Okay, guys, I will let you go. Thank you so much for joining. I'm sure all of you are glued to the screen for tomorrow. Real quick though, let me check the max pain real quick. Oh, okay. Max pain is higher. You know what they say about max pain, right? So tomorrow it's gonna trade at that price. I bet you anything it's gonna go higher. But yeah, we'll see. All right, guys. Einstein. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you.